Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
My name is Neil Bartlett, and I'm here representing the Old Waynesboro Commission this morning. Our address is 801 U.S. Highway 17 Bypass South, and our phone number is 919-731-1653. I'd also like to recognize the President of our Board of Directors, Ms. Yvonne Goodman, is with us this morning. First of all, I'd like to thank you, gentlemen, for the opportunity to appear before you, and also especially thank you for your past support for Waynesboro. Waynesboro is still commonly known by a lot of people as Waynesboro Park. We operate what we call a historic village that has numerous structures ranging from a residence, a doctor's office, a school, and a printer shop that date back to the late 18th, 19th, or rather 19th century here in Wayne County. We also operate and maintain over 2.5 miles of nature and hiking trails that wind along the Neuse River. All of these facilities are open to the public on 7 days a week. We have a very, very limited, very tight budget, as well as a very, very limited staff. We have one full-time employee. Over the years, our operating costs, as those of other agencies, have certainly gone up. However, we've tried to hold the line as far as our budget requests go from the county. We did so again this year. We asked for the same amount of money which you have been generous enough to allocate for us in the past several years. The cut that we are looking at would be quite harmful to the operation of Waynesboro. So with that in mind, we would respectfully ask that you continue with the amount of money that we've received from you in past years and help us out in that way if you can. And I'll be glad to try to answer any questions that you may have about Waynesboro. Again, thanks for the opportunity to appear before you, and thank you for your support.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? We're talking about the Wayne County budget at this time. Anyone wish to speak? Come forward and give your name, address, and phone number, please.
My name is Susan Long. I'm 2409 Stevens Mill Road, 919-689-3679. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am here as a parent and as a kindergarten teacher at Grantham School. We would like a new middle school in Grantham. I'm not asking for a new K-8 school. We need a separate facility for middle school. We're the only K-8 school in the county, and we are crowded, and parents have expressed concern about 5-year-old children being with 14-year-old children on the same campus. So we need to be separate. We have a facility at our current location that was built in the 20s that is in very bad condition. A lot of children and staff members have had health issues that is related to the condition of the building. Now, as a kindergarten teacher, I'm here on behalf of, if we get a new middle school, we can have a pre-K program at Grantham School. We're the only school in the county that does not have a pre-K program. And we have children coming to school that have no prior learning opportunities, and they are behind. Research states that whenever you start school behind, you continue to stay behind. And we do all that we can do to get these children ahead and to where they need to be, but we should provide, and I'm asking you to help us provide the same learning opportunities that the rest of the county gets for their children, that we need that for our community as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Bobby Crawford. I represent the Grantham Grange of about 115 members. And I'd just like to echo what Susan has just said. We're here in wholehearted support of a 5 through 8 school at Grantham. We have needed it for a long time, and the school board has a plan to work that in, and I wholeheartedly ask that you support this effort to get a 5 through 8 school to Grantham. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Good morning. My name is Erin Alamdar. I reside at 423 Bridle Path Drive in Goldsboro, North Carolina. Erin Alamdar, it's ERINALEMDAR. And my phone number is 919-222-8601. I am here on behalf of the Arts Council of Wayne County as an employee. I'm the gallery director there. And Sarah ran out of time to talk about all the issues that we wanted to address, so I just wanted to bring up a couple things that I personally want to tell you about. And it is personal because the recommended budget cut of $25,000 is a job, and it's my job, basically. And it's not just about that. The $25,000, it's coming from the government. It's a way that we can say, you know, we have the county's support. They believe in us, and then we can go and leverage that when we go out to try to get supporters from, you know, from around the community, from local businesses, and say, you know, the local government supports us, you should too, because we do have a lot of income from those local business sponsorships. And another thing I want to touch on is the fact that I want Wayne County to be a place where people that are my age, I'm 22 years old, I want Wayne County to be a place where people want to come and live. And touching on what other people have talked about quality of life, people don't want to live in a place where there's nothing to do. The people don't want to live in a place where, you know, they have to go drive out to Raleigh to go to an arts event, or they don't want to live in a place where their kids can't come take art classes. I personally wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the Arts Council of Wayne County. I would have graduated college, moved somewhere else where I could get a job in the arts. But because of the Arts Council of Wayne County, I decided to stay here. I started volunteering there, and then I've got my full-time job now. And it's not just about keeping young people in Wayne County and giving them something to do. We are giving young families a reason to stay here. And then retired people as well, the reason to stay here. If you look behind you, those paintings are by a man named Gene Rouse, who's retired. And really, he's another person that's staying here because of the arts. He was considering moving to Wilmington or moving to Asheville because they have thriving arts scenes. And if we can make Wayne County have a thriving arts scene, I think that's going to make people really want to live here and stay here and help Wayne County continue to grow and to be prosperous. So thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ethel Britt, 545 Edward Store Road, Mount Olive. I have 2 grandchildren at Grantham School, soon have another one there. And I feel like that Grantham School, Grantham community has sort of been put on the back burner. And I feel like it is time that we look at that. You look into some things and do something for the Grantham community.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Y'all know me by now? Or do I need to tell you my name again? All right. Steve L. Harrion, 349 Weaver Road, Goldsboro, NC. Area code 919-689-2669. I think most of you people are a little bit younger than me, and I'd like to give you a little history of Grantham School. Grantham School has been kind of left behind in many instances. When we got, Mr. Price used to be on this board, and they built a new school down at Southern Springs. When they got ready to build a gymnasium, the county built a gymnasium down there. We wanted a gymnasium, we couldn't get one. So the people in Grantham School raised the money and built the gymnasium that's there today being used. The gymnasium down at Southern Springs is now a juke joint, dance hall, whatever you want to call it. We're still using the gymnasium that I rode at 14 years old. I couldn't roll a whole wheelbarrow full of cement up to pour that floor. They put a half a wheelbarrow full for me to roll up in there. Volunteered a time. Mr. Cox, George Cox's daddy, come out and built the bleachers in that school. Those bleachers were just replaced just a few years, just a few years ago. The people in Grantham community built that gymnasium for the school and for the children there. When they got it almost completed, then the county decided, oh, we got some money, we'll put the top on it for you and put the windows in it. So we volunteered to let them do it. That's all the county's got invested in that gymnasium that's being used today. I think it's time the Grantham community receive a little respect. They have not had it from the commissioner board before, but I think it's time we build a school at Grantham. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Please give your name, address, and phone number, please.
My name is Letitia Banks, and I live at 1916 Harris Street in Goldsboro, North Carolina. I represent the Arts Council of Wayne County as well. I'm the office manager there. And I just wanted to say a few things just from my heart. And one thing that I love about my job is the fact that our office staff, I think that we represent pretty much every culture and ethnicity that God created. And I love the fact that because of your funding and that you will continue to fund us, that we're able to provide free programming. I love that we have a lot of students and children that have never been to the Arts Council that have come, that we can teach them different things, different alternatives as opposed to doing something that's negative. As a result, I've had so many comments from parents that enjoy the fact that you can take something that's negative in a child's life and allow them the opportunity to figure out what their gifts and talents are so that they can become creative. One of the things that I also wanted to do was create a program called CHAMPS, which was creating the hearts and minds pursuing success, because I want to, the Arts Council wants to, just to continue to develop children's minds in the community. In addition to doing that, what you're doing is saving yourselves money because you are channeling those things instead of getting negative feedback from the community, that you're able to alter that, save yourself money from arrest, from people just, doing a lot of different things that they should not be doing. I also love the fact that because of the funding, I'm able to go over to the senior center and they help me and I help them. A lot of the seniors that may, for instance, I have people that may not be able to read so well, and they'll help me with things that we have whenever we're doing mailings and things in the community. If someone's had a stroke, I can sit there and they can do something and create a pattern so that it helps them. A lot of them don't have the ability to use their hands, and that's something because it's light enough that they're able to do that. If they can't read, then I can give them something that is used with colors so that that can help them as well. So the Arts Council is not just about a gallery. We do help the community and the community helps us. So I hope that you consider that and continue the funding for the Arts Council. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Hello.
Morning.
Cindy McCullen, 1123 Sealer Church Road, Goldsboro, 689 or 919-689-9880, the Grantham community. Good morning. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Grantham Middle School also. As a county employee, a taxpayer, and a parent of an arising first grader whose great teacher was here also, who spoke earlier. I just wanted to let you all know that this is just a minor fraction of our community that's supporting this. If I could ask everyone in support of the Grantham School to please stand up. I don't know how many of these here are even going to speak, but I just wanted everyone to see that this room is full this morning because it is Grantham community wanting a school, needing a school, and deserving a school. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jamie Cox, 174 Old Vineyard Road, Goldsboro. Jamie Cox, C-O-X.
Phone number is 919-735-8273. I am the kindergarten through 4th grade general music teacher and the 7th and 8th grade middle school chorus teacher at Grantham School. I am here to tell you what it is like to teach in the old buildings. We have 3 incredibly old buildings, as Susan said, that were built in the 1920s. And I will tell you, it is very difficult to teach in a building that is infested with flying roaches, mice. We've had beehives. I cannot even begin to tell you everything that we have had, and it is incredibly distracting to teach these kids when they come into my building, which was the old cafeteria that has a pole in the middle of the floor. It is hard to do 21st century whenever you are limited, your hands are tied. And I also want to talk about the gym a little bit. That is our performance arena for all of my students, 7 grade levels, and they all perform every single year in that gym, every grade level. I have had students pass out in the middle of the performances. We've had to stop so that we can get first responders to come and help the students who have passed out because of the heat. And it sounds like they're spoiled rotten, but they didn't grow up on farms like we did, and it is a little bit different for them. They are used to air conditioning. And the coaches have to take weeks. They alternate. So when it rains outside, let's say elementary is outside teaching PE classes, middle school must have the gym that week. What if it rains? You know, that PE class has nowhere to go. That is their classroom, and they are having to share it. So I just wanted you to know what it is like from this side. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Morning.
I'm Glenn Kennedy, 126 K&M Drive, Goldsboro, North Carolina. Glenn.
Thank you.
Area code 919-221-2490. I've talked with Mr. King in the past about a sewer line. He got it approved, I think, till the county commissioner shut it down the last time, the last board. We do not have a sewer line at Grantham. My kids, his kids, I know Mr. Acock's wife played basketball. When you go to Grantham and play, you're playing on top of sewer lines. It's not right. We're the only county without a sewer line. I talked with Mr. Daughtry. He said $1.5 million is a lot of money. But you can build a $12 million library at another town. I think our school should come first. And we have been last. We're the only school without air conditioning in the gym. And it's time for us to have a little something. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
My name's Rick Hughes. Live at 102 Lakeshore Court, Goldsboro, 919-222-2669. I'm going to call this Tough Decision Tuesday. You folks have a lot of tough decisions to make. The needs are great, as we're all hearing here today, and the scarce resources allow you to only do so much. But I do appreciate the respectful manner that people come up here, present their case to you. They're doing it the right way. And I also appreciate the diligence that you folks have done in trying to make the right decisions for the county. You take a lot of heat for it. You're all men of goodwill, good people, trying to do the best job that you can for the county, and I would like to thank you for that and encourage you to continue that.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Hi, my name is Amita Srinath, and I live at 2720 Isaac Drive, Goldsboro, North Carolina. Sure, first name is A-M-I-T-A, last name S-H-R-E-E-N-A-T-H. I'm also here in support of the Arts Council, and I know you've heard probably enough from us and probably don't want to hear anymore. And I recognize, and I hope you know that we know that you support the arts, and it is a very tough decision when you're trying to balance the budget. You need to think about who you're going to give money to and which organization you're going to support. So I know you recognize the importance of the arts, but I want to point out, and I think Aaron touched on this, is that we need your support. You support the arts, but we need your support. It's hard for us to go out and get funding, which we try to do a lot of our own fundraising. We raise anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 on our own to run the kind of program that we can, which touches everybody around the county. But it's hard for us to go to supporters and say, we're not the county didn't give us any money, or we're not supported. When we write grants, when we bring in money from the state or from federal money into Wayne County, it's very hard to get it when we can't prove that our own county supports us. So we really need your support, and there's a lot of people here who came to support the Arts Council. If everyone can stand up, I think most people are wearing greens, and you can see a lot of green. But the reason that I wanted people to stand up and show you is because you can see that we have people from different ages, young people, old people. We have people from different social backgrounds, from different economic standings, different race. Everybody supports the arts, and we try to touch everybody in the county and do as much as we can and provide free programs for everybody in the county. So it's really important that you support us. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Debbie Jackson, 690 South Jordan's Chapel Road, Mount Olive, 2736752. I am a member of the Grantham community as well as a bookkeeper at Grantham School. Normally I'm in my office. I'm not a public speaker, but I would like to say that we have had this school year, the building, the worst building we've had mold in that building as well as the bugs she was talking about. We've had the pest man come out and say there's termites in that building. And also we need the pre-K for our students at Grantham School. Our community needs this. We'd appreciate your help.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? The public hearing is closed at this time.
Public comment?
Yes. Okay. At this time, we're running a little late, but we have the public comments time. Supposed to have been at 10 o'clock. Anyone that wants to come forward during the public time, you have 4 minutes. If you will, give us your name, address, and telephone number. This is the public comments. Anyone wish to speak? Okay.
Bob Jackson, 109 Aurora Lane, 7368618. You've heard a lot about Grantham School this morning, and I'm a proud graduate of Grantham, and I have the distinction of being the person who dribbled the ball more than anybody else in that gym. I used to have a Friday night game, and it would be over by 9 or 9:30, and I had a deal with the janitor, Mr. Sasser, at that time, and he would give me, well, at that time it was a padlock to the door. He just wouldn't lock the door. He'd have me do it. And when I left about 2, 3, 4 a.m., I'd lock the door behind me. And that was a regular routine for me. So I played a lot of basketball at Grantham. Back to the budget a little bit. I don't know how you make it easy. I don't know that there is a way to make it easy. You've heard a lot from some of the departments in Wayne County indicating their need for funds, and that's always the case and always has been and always will be. And it's your job to determine by department and category, which ones are deserving and which ones maybe are not. I don't envy you. I don't know how you spend the time you do in making these determinations, but you have my respect and well wishes. Sometimes I wonder what I might do if I was sitting in your seat. But I know that the trials you go through, and sometimes the heartaches, and especially when people speak out in a way that might be contrary to the way you think, I would just say to you to not alter your course, to stay on course, to do what you know you need to do. You have made certain promises to the people who put you where you are. And I would say that if they didn't like what you said, you wouldn't probably be where you're at. So honor those promises, do everything you can to lower the rates. I personally saw my tax go up this past go-round, 25% when the rest of the country was going, it went up 25% when the rest of the country was going down 25%. And it certainly was a big hit to me to pay my taxes. So if there's any way that we can lower the tax rate, whether it be 2 or 3 or 10 cents on the 100, it's always welcome. One other thing, the seats are nice. Now, if you can figure out a way to take the squeaks out, you'll have it made.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? This is the public comments time.
Steve L. Herring, 349 Weaver Road, Goldsboro, NC. Area code 919-689-2669. I just wanted to commend you fellas on what a fine job y'all doing. I was up here quite often listening to all these proceedings from different departments, and I think you've done a good job of finding out where the money's being spent. And I really appreciate y'all's effort, because I know a lot of you got businesses and other things to do besides sit up here all day. And some of these meetings have been rather long, and I appreciate your time. And I do want to, I do wish that the I'm in favor of the fire departments getting this extra money. They need it for undue burdens put on them. But I would like to see it revisit, even if we have to have another hearing or something, and retool that thing to where we can say anything over 2 hours, 5 hours, or something like that would be billed to the appropriate place. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all's good work.
This is a public comments time. Anyone else wish to speak? Anyone else? Public comments time is closed. We come back to our agenda. Under new business, we have the first item is the satisfaction of deed of trust security instrument. Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir. I'd like to ask David Harris of RSM Harris, he would come up I thought it was good for the board because some of you may not know the history of some of the programs that occurred many years ago that we're kind of moving into today, and then the attorney will give you a brief after that.
Good morning.
Morning.
After Hurricane Fran and also Hurricane Floyd, the county received funding for what was called the FEMA buyout. It also received for the houses that were destroyed by the floods. It also received funding from the state for what's called Crisis Housing Assistance Fund. In the FEMA buyout, of course, property was appraised and was acquired at fair market value, and the people received those funds. In some cases, there was a gap between the value of their property, which was in a floodplain, could have been older, and being able to provide replacement housing. The Crisis Housing Program stepped in and helped provide some assistance in that regard to fill the gap. For families that weren't in the buyout, the state provided funding for housing repair. For other ones that were not in the buyout, that were houses were devastated, destroyed, no longer livable, the state provided a separate program for replacing those houses, and in this case, the replacement had to be outside the 100-year floodplain. So as a result of that program, the county was able to achieve a situation where the chances of future flooding impacting lives, impacting property is significantly diminished. One of the requirements of that crisis housing program, and this also exists for the other housing programs, is that for a period of time afterwards, if the family sells a house, a portion of those grant funds would be paid back. It not only was it a disincentive, obviously, to sell the property, it was simply a recognition of this is our tax money. You're not going to turn around and just go ahead and sell it and pocket the money and then buy your trailer. Each one of these categories of funding contained a different period in which that would be satisfied. Under the repair program, because again, that smaller amount of funding could have been 10, 15, 25,000. The period was 5 years from the time the work was completed. For the replacement program, because that was the single largest sum of funds that you would receive from the state's program, that was a 10-year recapture period. And then, of course, from the GAP program, which was basically supplemental assistance for those in the buyout, that was only a 5-year program. All that work was completed. In fact, I think the last houses were in the late spring, early summer of 2003, in essence, 10 years ago. And those families have satisfied the requirement to have lived in that house during that period of time. And so the notes and deeds of trust, the deeds of trust that are on those properties basically have been satisfied as a result of their simply living there. Now, since then, there's been properties that have been sold, and of course, if there was any, if they were during the period, there was proceeds returned to the county that was in return to the state. That's all been taken care of. But what you have now are there are some just a number of houses that all the obligations have been met, recapture period is ended, and it would be appropriate for the county to go ahead and satisfy those. Otherwise, you will be for the next umpteen years until somebody closes on a property finding out that there is a lien that the county's had that was satisfied decades ago. We are, in fact, what we're looking at now is trying to determine that last house that is really the trigger. And I think the one you have on the agenda today is the last one. I'm still looking for some that may have occurred in May or June of 2003, but I think this one was the last one I've been able to find so far. And as a result, it's going to be a matter of the ones that haven't already been satisfied through other circumstances, that the county be able to go ahead and do that. That will then end it, and you would not have aggravation from people wanting to buy houses or sell houses later, that there's this lien out here that all of a sudden has been satisfied. We just hadn't signed the paperwork at the Register of Deeds. So that's kind of the context of that program, and at this point, it's simply a matter of they fulfill their obligation.
Okay. Any, Mr. Parker, you have a follow-up?
Excuse me, everything that David said is correct, and it's just formality.
Okay, this is an action item.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Doherty.
I move to authorize the chairman or vice chairman of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners to sign a satisfaction of the debt in Crisis Housing Assistance Fund.
We have a motion on the floor. Any discussion? Mr. Pate.
Yes. Do we not want to include similar actions in the future that meet the deed of trust?
That
does make that.
Will do.
Okay, I just want to be sure. Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand, please. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 2 are the budget amendments. Mr. Smith.
Yes, ask Ms. Holt, she'd come forward, please. We have those in your agenda package, as well as some additional that have come up. It's kind of the end of the year, so as the end of the year comes up, we're trying to wrap books up. We'll probably have some more next Tuesday also, fortunately or unfortunately, but that's what we have to do. Ms. Holt?
The first one in your packet should be number 458, and this is anticipating and appropriating funds for the $6.20 instruments for fees collected by the registered deeds. The $6.20 is due to the state. Y'all have been presented one of these in prior meetings. This one is for $6,500.
Is that the only one for?
That's the only one for registered
Okay.
deeds.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Dudley.
I move acceptance of budget amendment 458.
We have a motion on the floor to accept budget amendment 458. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries.
We're going to do number 464 and 457 together. These are both services on aging. Number 464 is a decrease to salaries and wages of $9,950, and an increase to extra help of $9,950. This is to transfer funds from from full-time salaries to part-time salaries, and it is the in-home aid grant. Number 457 is also a grant. It's the Family Caregiver Support Program grant, decreasing your salaries, extra help, your travel, meals, and lodging, and increasing office supplies by $5,200.
Okay. Preference of the board?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Bell made a motion for 464 and 457. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Thank you.
Budget amendment number 456 is for the Sheriff's Department. It is concealed weapon fees and fingerprint fees, anticipating the revenue and increasing the expenditure. Concealed weapons, $10,220. Fingerprint fees, $1,830.
Preference of the board?
I move to accept, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Pate has made a motion we accept item number 456, budget amendment. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand, please. All opposed? Motion carries.
Number 460 is increasing capital outlay equipment in the jail by $6,924 and increasing fund balance appropriation. This is an accounting budget entry. The original posting of this was put to a non-capital line item which had the funds in it, and it needs to be, for audit purposes, put into a capital line item. So we are asking for the funds to move it to the capital line item.
Okay. Preference of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept this amendment.
Good. Mr. Camardi, a motion on the floor to accept this amendment number 460, budget amendment. Any discussion? This is just to switch from one area to another.
Yes, sir.
That's correct.
We could, we're just using it because of the fund balance. Because y'all want us to move fund balance, we're just
Yeah.
bringing it before you.
Okay. Is any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand, please. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next one's the Development Alliance. It's to anticipate funds for One North Carolina Fund Grant, Cooper Standard Automotive. And this is 25% of the terms met. We do have Mike Haney if y'all have questions about this.
Okay.
This was on a previous agreement you had with Cooper Standard and their
Yeah.
expansion, and we had a performance agreement with them, and it's spelled out in that performance agreement.
We did determine earlier that we would bring the budget amendments to you as the standards were met, and this is 25% that's been met. This is anticipating $39,350 from the state and appropriating the same 25% of county funds as a match.
Okay. Preference of the board?
Quick question, if I might.
Well, we have to go, and then we'll have discussion.
I move adoption.
Okay. Mr. Daughter has made a motion, we accept item number 459, budget amendment. Discussion.
Am I understanding you're anticipating the funds to come in over the next few weeks? in this budget session, or are we talking about in next budget, after July the 1st?
There are two pieces to this grant. The one North Carolina was awarded, and the county is required to 100% match of that grant. The way that the grant works, and Cooper Standard has made application to both the state and the county for their second distribution of this grant. And the way that it works is that the County of Wayne first cuts their check, then we show proof to the state Commerce Department, and they will in turn cut their check, and the county as they flow through for that check also. So we'll be receiving a check from the state for $39,350 also. And as soon as I get the check in hand, then I'm going to make application to the state for their funds.
It's pretty quick turnaround. We've never had a problem with it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other discussion?
And the money is there, because we verified that. Nothing changed.
Just quick question, Mike. I know it's help expand what they're doing out there, and I know they've got a lot more contracts than they did before. Do you know what the ballpark number is, the expansion of jobs?
They had, let's see, I've got it here. They had committed to extra 139 new jobs, and they've created over 105 at this point of those. And that's in addition to retaining, I believe it was 350.
350.
Something like
It was
that.
over 350.
And I think they're going gangbusters.
Yeah, I know
They're doing good.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? We have a motion on the floor for item number 459, budget amendment. All in favor, raise your right hand, please. All opposed? Motion carried.
Your next budget amendment is number 461, Central Services. This is increase in security services, $2,500, and appropriating fund balance of $2,500. This is to pay the bills through the end of the year.
I move adoption, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, does that include the next one, 462? Is that for you also?
We can do that one with it.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
group them
The next
together,
one is
please.
Central Services. I went ahead and put several departments on one budget amendment. This is to get our departments through the end of the year on the June payroll. As you can, they're kind of labeled there. We'll need a fund balance appropriation in 110 of $756, a fund balance appropriation in court facilities of $1,105.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I may amend my motion to include 461 and 462. Approval.
Okay. Motion on the floor to approval of budget amendment 461 and 462. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carried.
Number 463 is from Social Services. This is to get them through the end of the year. Some of the revenue is grant funds, and as you learned yesterday in some of the budget meetings, this is detailing some of the items that they talked about, the grants that they talked about could be 50/50, 75/25, or 100%. As you can see there, that is the way the funding is here. We have a fund balance appropriation of $18,252, a Medicaid transportation reimbursement, that's 100% grant, $38,641, a foster care for revenue at $13,293, that's a 50% grant. A state boarding home care grant at $13,120, that's a 75% grant.
Okay. Preface from the board?
Got two more.
Oh, we have
Okay.
two more?
467
We do?
and 470.
467 and 470. I'll find it.
Okay.
Where is it? Where is it, Joe? Is it? Okay.
We have a, number 467 is a daycare grant, increasing The daycare, this is also 100% grant, increasing the revenue by $43,233 and the related expenditure. Number 470,
Ooh, I ain't got that.
am I moving too fast?
You doing fine.
Yeah, what was that previous one? I'm sorry.
467.
The ones we added
They're walk-ons.
in the additional package on your table.
And 470,
Yes,
okay?
Those were handed out to you.
handed out
That's the ones handed
this
out.
morning.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Okay, is everybody up on the daycare one, 467?
yeah, 467.
That's a grant.
Mm-hmm, that's a grant,
That's a
Yeah.
grant.
okay.
And the next one, 470, has a grant funds in it at $908.50 and a fund balance appropriation of $781.50. And these are pending orders needed for the above line items to get through the end of the year.
Okay. Board?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I put a motion on the floor that we approve the aforementioned grants,
Okay.
aforementioned amendments.
Okay, motion on the floor by Mr. Cromartie to, for the approved items, grant, budget amendment 467 and 470. Any discussion?
And 463.
The what, Mr.
And 463.
And 463, I'm sorry, and 463.
Mr. Chairman, I did
Yes.
have a question on that. I see there was a dues and subscriptions there for $500. What is that item?
You're back on 463?
I'm sorry, it's 470, excuse me. On
470.
470, you had office supplies, laboratory services, and dues and subscriptions, $500.
Cherry's that in, and 53 or 4 is just general admin.
Yeah, that's just their general admin.
Typically, that would be like the social service, they have an association, the director, or several days. Typically, that's what that number is association dues.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other discussion? All in favor of the adoption number 470, 467, and 463, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, we'll go to budget amendment number 465 in your agenda, and if you'll pull 468 out as a walk-on. Number 465 is increasing retirement at $300 in EMS, increasing straight time overtime $900 in EMS net, and these are earnings appropriated. This is for their June payroll. They anticipate being short on these line items in the June payroll. And 630 is to obligate over-collection of user fees in order to pay EMS management fees. That's $26,000. They're anticipating the revenue and the expenditure there, and that is in EMS net.
Okay, preference. Mr. Aycock has made a motion that we accept item number 465 and 468. Any discussion?
Am I understanding there was an additional unbudgeted amount of increase of
That's correct.
$26,000? In other words, we brought in $26,000 more than budgeted.
Correct. This is a good budget
Based on
amendment.
what you collect, their
Okay.
percentage.
Thank you very much.
Any other discussion? Just as a matter, I noticed that number 465, there's a note here, it's a result of Ceridian payroll. So that's noted.
I was not going to issue that.
Okay. Motion's on the floor to accept number 465 and 468. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Thank you.
Okay, number 466 is a walk-on. It is for solid waste. It's increasing their sewer line item by $14,000 and increasing appropriated fund balance by $14,000. And this is cost to pump leachate to, through June 30th, 2013, to the wastewater treatment plant.
Preference by the board? Motion made that we accept number 466 by Mr. Aycock. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand, please. All opposed? Motion carries.
And the last one, 469, is 4H. As you can tell, we're getting to the end of the year here on these. These are retirement funds, and this is for the prevention grant, $40. Decreasing one line item and increasing another, grant-related.
Grant-related, okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move adoption of Budget Amendment 469.
Thank you, Mr. Daugherty. Any discussion? Number 469. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Out of here by 11 o'clock.
Okay, item number 3, Mount Olive fireworks display resolution. Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir. There's a requirement by the state that the Board of Commissioners approve whenever permission for pyrotechnics to be exhibited, used, or discharged in certain areas of, all areas of Wayne County. And this resolution does that, and you're basically given permission with certain items of certificate of insurance, and those things have to come to us before it can be done. So it's basically a formality asking for approval for the display in Mount Olive.
Okay.
You are not responsible.
Preference from the board?
I move to be approved.
Okay. Mr. Pate makes a motion that we approve. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand, please. All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4 is a resolution to amend appointments meeting time of the Wayne County Veterans Service Advisory Board. Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir. Mr. Pate, I think, was going to give an explanation, was also going to read the resolution.
We had our first meeting, and we all came to an agreement that we felt like we needed to expand the board just a little bit, perhaps to reach out to some others that may have associations with other veterans groups. In addition to that, we thought it would help out with the quorum. Additionally, we felt that once a quarter was just not enough to make you kind of lose traction and mind, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. So we felt like we needed to be able to meet whenever we felt that it was necessary. And conferring with the other counties, and very few have a veterans committee, that's what they're doing. They found out the same thing. So I discussed it with the board, and they all agreed. So this is where we are. So I'll read the resolution now. Whereas the Wayne County Board of Commissioners has established a Wayne County Veterans Service Advisory Board, and whereas the board is made up of one county commissioner and one veteran from each county commissioner district, and whereas the membership is of opinion that 3 additional at-large members should be appointed to assist in having a quorum, and whereas the current advisory board has a quorum of 4 members, and whereas if the addition at-large members are added, there will be the need to be a quorum of 6 members, and whereas the current resolution provides the advisory board will meet quarterly, and whereas the advisory board believes that it should meet more often, now it's therefore be it resolved that, 1, the Wayne County Board of Commissioners shall appoint 3 at-large veterans to the Wayne County Veterans Service Advisory Board. 2, the Wayne County Veterans Service Advisory Board quorum shall be 6. 3, the Wayne County Veterans Service Advisory Board shall meet at least every other month or more often if need be. This, the 18th day of June 2013, and I put that in the form of a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Pate has made a motion that we accept this resolution. Any discussion? All in favor? Ms. Parker, you have a... Okay. All in favor, raise your right hand, please. All opposed? Resolution carries.
Mr. Chairman, can I say one additional thing to that?
Yes, Mr.
Now that we've passed this, we have other veterans that have applied before that are out there, and there may be other veterans who may want to apply by going to our website. So we're going to have 3 extra slots. Thank you.
And if someone just, because I know everybody is not internet savvy, and if they're not, if they'll call our office at 919, and I'll ask them to put it on the screen, also 919-731-1435, and ask to speak to Marsha Wilson, we can help them with an application if someone's not able to do that. So we just want to make that available.
Okay. Okay, the item that we've added, item 5, I would like to make a motion to set a public hearing at 5:15 PM on July 2nd, 2013, to consider providing incentives to an industry to locate or expand in Wayne County. The nature of the incentives to be considered will be a payback of a portion of new property taxes paid on new investments. The partial payback will be for 5 years. I make that in the form of a motion. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand, please. All opposed? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, just for the medium for the public, and I may be stepping out a little bit, but I know the question will be asked today. We are not giving the name of the company because of another pending state issue of announcement, and we do not want to preclude that grant opportunity for this company. The company name will be given prior to the hearing.
Okay. Thank you. Any other new business? Okay, we've already had our commissioners' committee reports up top, so Board of Commissioners' comments. Mr. Bell?
No comment, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Daugherty?
I'd hate to pass on an opportunity not to speak. But I will do so.
Mr. Cromartie?
No comment.
Mr. Pate?
Just a couple of things about budgets, schools, and the folks in Grantham community, I hear you loud and clear. I'm speaking for myself. I can't speak for the other commissioners. I, too, played ball at school growing up as a kid, and it was an old school then. I came from Pikeville, which was probably a little bit older school than Grantham. Not much, but it looked very similar, the same. And it's been demolished, and it's been abandoned, and it's been gone. And I personally want something to happen in Grantham. I'm not sure how we're going to do that yet. That'll have to be worked out with the Board of Education. But we're not going to forget the folks down in Grantham. They can count on that. And that's just what I got to say today. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Aycott?
Just shortly, I just want to thank the staff for the hard work they've done on the budget. It's been very informative to us and very educational. And like to follow up on what Mr. Bates says, I think that the people in the Grantham community have spoken loud and clear. Also thank the people from the Arts Council coming today. And one last thing back to Mr. Pate, Jim, you played in Pikeville, had a nickname of being a rabbit box.
Mr. King?
Yes, sir.
Several items that have come to my attention since I've been sitting here. I really appreciate everyone showing up today, and and I appreciate all the prayers. First of all, that the speedy recovery I've had with my neck. Serious surgery, but it's healing well. But I want to bring up a few items today. One is that the budget is, this is my 5th budget, the first one I've seen where Davenport wasn't here. Davenport is a company that we use to indicate what kind of monies we can borrow and at what rate we can borrow, and basically what kind of interest rate, what kind of bond, whether we're a AAA bond, AA, what kind of condition we're in. And every Davenport report I've seen indicates that Wayne County is in good shape. And I'm sure we're in good shape this time. What disappoints me more than anything is that we've not gotten the information from the Board of Education in order to make a decision in reference to what Davenport is going to indicate, what we can and can't do. What's sad today is that there are so many people that want to improve the quality of life for their children and education in this county. What's sad today is that we don't have the information. And what's sad today is the reason we don't have that information is because the Board of Education has been slack in giving us that information. They've been unbalanced, they've been unsure. A superintendent resigned and then all of a sudden came back. We've had 61 people to retire, and we really appreciate their service. And I say all this with a good heart, because there's a lot of people today that need more than what they had yesterday and what more than they had last year and what more than they had 2 years ago for their children, especially in Grantham. And let's not forget Charles B. Aycock. Let's not forget Spring Creek. And let's not forget the inner schools, the inner city schools. Education right now in Wayne County is needed more than anything, that and jobs. And I think I have pressed that and hammered on that for the last year, is that in order to get out of poverty, we have to have jobs. And right now, 1 in 4 are in poverty in Wayne County. But we need education. And we have substandard schools. And we have a way to get money. We have a way to borrow money. And we've got a good record. But what's sad today is we don't have a report. We've got a week to go before we decide on the budget. I've gotten over 100 emails in the last 12 days. Most of them from Grantham community wanting a new school. I want a new school. There's a lot of people that want a new school. There's a lot of people that want more. But what we decided this year as a new board is we would see where the waste was. We would see where the fluff was. And we would reduce that fluff in order to get you new schools. Because we wanted to see what you could afford as citizens, as taxpayers. We wanted to reduce the rate so we could see what the rate could be. We wanted to see what the expense could be in order to afford a school, a new school, other schools. $15 million here about 2 years ago just fell out of the sky. And it was very appropriate that we took the monies and we did with what we did with those monies. And we have 2 great schools now. And those kids are able to go to school, and the curb appeal, and the teachers feel better about teaching, and the kids feel better about learning. But my comments today is what I've heard is that I got questions. What is the protocol from this day, which is Tuesday, and we have to follow up with a vote next Tuesday? I have this to the county manager. What is the protocol from now until next Tuesday that we have to vote on the budget? What's the protocol to find the funds that we've talked about for the last 2 weeks?
For the budget itself, or talking about CIP?
But all of it. What's the protocol to find out what money we have right now, where we've reduced, what rate we have, what money we've saved, and what can we afford? What's the protocol right now?
First of all, just statutorily, the board has to adopt by July 1st a budget. Right now, you have set next week, the 25th, a time whereby you would look to consider the budget. Today, in the work session after our break, I'm bringing to you 2 versions of some timelines from Davenport, and we're working with them now. And then once I have at least some direction today, then I can finish the financing assumptions to bring those back. I will also tell you kind of a with a follow-up to your question, with the 13-14 budget, based on this timeline, there would be no impact on this fiscal year budget that you're moving into on the CIP as far as county buildings or schools, or maybe some design possibly. but it would really be the 14, 15 based on decisions or your work sessions, and you're right, discussions with the Board of Education. So,
Okay, to answer your question then, our comment to your answer was that we've been working diligently for 5 months to get those figures. 5 months. Second question, when will we get an up-to-date last version of the dollars reduced by the means of these hearings?
on the budget, we actually have, we're tallying up from yesterday, and we're working on that this afternoon, and we'll send the spreadsheet out to the board that has kind of the final tally, as we mentioned yesterday. That will have that and kind of give you what that bottom line is and what the changes are and what we're recommending based on what we heard in your work sessions.
Today is Tuesday. Can we get those information? Can we get that information today and have a meeting this afternoon?
We've not been able to meet yet as a staff. We're meeting this afternoon because I have a meeting today with the Board of Elections. They were not here last week, so the earliest would be tomorrow.
Okay, will these figures affect the rate any lower, and how much?
I don't know that until I do the final tally. We're working on that because there were changes yesterday from the board, so I've got to calculate those and have the staff meeting as soon as we finish with you guys.
When will Davenport report be ready?
It's based on your work session today. They will bring the, based on these two versions, which one you asked me to send to them, based on our work session today, they told me it would take about 5 business days, 3 to 5 business days to bring that report back. But it still would have no impact on the fiscal year budget 13-14.
In my opinion, Mr. Chairman, that is sad. Will all of the Board of Education requests be on this report?
Yes.
The Board of Education request.
Yes, sir.
Am I correct that their request is the last request that we received from Dr. Taylor and his staff? Was it June the 4th or was it May the 7th?
It was altered. That actually was June was the last, it's been within the last 2 weeks we received changes.
Okay, those 3 were prioritized as the Central Attendance Schools, Spring Creek Elementary, and Charles V. A. Cotton. Grantham was not a part of that.
Was not on that letter, but I did clarify with Dr. Taylor, was it to be included, and he said yes. It was still in that 07 plan, and that he asked that, the board did ask that we include that in our CIP. And I have.
He only asked us to pursue an option to borrow.
Actually, on those projects, they were looking at the $12 million worth of projects. They were looking for the schools to use 6.2 or 6, I'm going to quote 6 plus 6 point some million dollars of their sales tax or lottery funds or whatever they would take those from, and that the county come up with the other dollars, the other 6.2 million.
Question, will any of the county facilities that the facility committee be included in the Davenport report?
Yes.
Which ones will they be?
Health and Human Services, Mount Olive Library, Ag Center, some general renovations like day reporting, detention center, farther out of like some EMS satellites, 911 center, some airport jetport issues. I think those were the major ones that were included. Yes, sir.
And one last comment. For those who are looking funds, who have fund balances, that was another example of trying to find where we could spend monies for schools and not give money to those groups who had fund balances. We had several groups that have approached us for funds this year that had fund balances in excess of $300,000. $300,000 in a fund balance and requesting funds. If we can take the fund balances and spend those fund balances this year, just this year alone, and not give all of these other funds away, to find a way that we could regroup and see what monies we could afford to give our schools so our children would have better places to be educated, then I think it is well worth exploring those opportunities. And that's what this board has done this year. Just to say that we're going to take monies away from you, and that's the way it is. It's not the way it is. It's taking money, pulling back the reins, finding out where the money is, finding out where it's coming from. And this board has been telling the people of this county all along, we want to find out where every dollar is, where every penny is being spent, where we can save every penny, and where we can get our kids educated and get them out of these substandard schools and create jobs. I have several other things to say, but I think I've said enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm the only one left.
I think he covered it all.
I think he covered it all. But I do want to again thank all 7 commissioners, the staff of Mr. Smith, a bunch of people have come together over the last 4 or 5 months and really taken a look at this budget, not to micromanage, but to gain information. If you're gaining information, you're not micromanaging. And that's what this board has done, and I commend the hours upon hours that have been put in by the staff and this commission board to get this budget where it's at. Yes, everything that we're doing, we should be doing. Like Mr. King said, as a commissioner, our end result should be creating jobs, putting people to work in Wayne County. That should be where everything is funneled eventually. Yes, there's a lot of people need help during the meantime, but we need to make sure that we are in line, just like we're talking about with the Wayne County Development Alliance this morning. 120 jobs, we'll take them all day. We need to put people to work in Wayne County. So I just want to thank everyone, and also want to again want to say, Mr. Chairman, it's good to see you sitting here today. It's anyone else have anything? We need to take a break at this time.
We do, and then
Okay.
just take a 5 or 10 minute break.
We're going to take a 5 or 10 minute recess.